Hopefully you can see it a little bit better. So Tyson asked about 11, 12, and 13.
Yes.
So I'm going to work those. Do you have questions on 10? Anybody?
I think 10 was pretty easy. Let me see. I just kind of didn't know what to do to subtract them. I didn't know if you subtracted the whatevers.
Okay, so I guess what I'll do is I'll take a grade on 10, then, and I'll work the other three.
Did you get my email?
I did. Some of you, I guess I've got some of yours right here. I got Zach's too. And everybody that was here yesterday, I got yours. So let me draw the picture for number 11. It says determine the vector A minus C. So A looks like this. And let's see, that's 44 at 28 degrees. And minus C, instead of going down, would go up. So that's C, which is equal to 31. The angle's 90, so the resultant,
Wait, why would it go up?
because it's minus C. Minus means it's this pointing in the exact opposite direction, but it's the same length. Okay, so that's what A minus C would be.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
That
Okay.
is why it was, okay. That's why that was a challenge for me.
So
Gotcha.
do they want you to solve it too? This is determine the vector. Yeah. So let's find the components. So x and y. Vx is equal to v times the cosine of theta. Vy is equal to v times the sine of theta. And let's solve for vector A and vector C. And to tell you the truth, once you've solved for these, the numbers all stay the same, but the signs differ a little bit. So maybe I should solve for all of them, but I'm not gonna. So on A, it's gonna be 44 times the cosine of 28. And then 44 times the sine of 28. And on C, it's 0 in the x and 31 in the y. I'm not even going to solve those because it's on the y-axis. So we know that all 31 is going in the y direction, 0 is going in the x. So does somebody have 44 times the cosine of 28?
39.
39. Okay, that's going to the right, so it's going to be a positive number. 44 times the sine of 28?
21.
21, that's going to be a positive number too, because it's going going up. Okay, so let's sum those up. So plus, this is going to be 39 in the x and 52 in the y. So we can use the Pythagorean theorem and say VR is equal to Vx squared plus the square root of Vx squared plus Vy squared. For VR is equal to 39 squared plus 52 squared. So what do you get for VR? Somebody have that?
64.7, 65.
Okay, so let's just call it 65. And then for the angle, tangent of theta is Vy over Vx, where tangent of theta is equal to 52 over 39. What do you get for theta?
53.1.
Okay, 53.1 degrees, and I'm going to call that's above positive x. If I just leave it at 53.1 degrees, that would be fine. Okay, because that's what 53.1 means. Okay, so that's 11. So 12 also. Okay, so 12 has a couple of parts. It says given that vector A and B shown in 332, determine B minus A, and then determine A minus B without using your answers to A. Okay, so I'm going to erase some of this, but not all of it. I'm going to leave the equations. We'll change all of that, and I'm going to redraw my picture. I think it's, on the first one, it's B minus A. So I'm going to draw B first. So B, A, here's my XY coordinate system. B is going like this. I think it said it's 26.5. And the angle is 56 degrees. And then minus A, instead of going up and to the right, it's going to go down and to the left. So minus A is going to look like that. And the angle here, what is A? 44. And the angle there is 28 degrees below the x-axis. So the resultant is somewhere over here. So B is going to be 26.5 times the cosine of 56 and 26.5 times the sine of 56. And then A is 44 times the cosine of 28, 44 times the sine of 28. Now let's go back and put the signs in there. We know that B is going to the left, so it's negative in the x, but it's going up, so it's positive in the y. A is going to the left, so it's negative in the x, and it's going down, so it's negative in the y. And I would suggest you always do that after you draw it, put your signs in, so that we know that they're right. That's the easiest way I can think of to do it. I've done it 100 different ways. That's the easiest. So what's the x component of B? 26.5 times the cosine of 56. Does somebody have that?
Right yet.
Okay.
Wait, what am I saying? 15.
This one's 15?
Yep.
Okay, what about the y component for B?
22.
And then the x component for A, I should have left it up there.
39.
39, and then the y component?
21.
21. Okay, so if we do the math here, negative 39 plus negative 15 is what? Negative 54. And then 22 plus negative 21 is just 1. So we can figure out right now which quadrant this is in. I kind of drew this wrong, I guess. It should be in quadrant number 2 because x is negative but y is positive. So it has to be going to the left and up. This is the only one that goes to the left and up. So let's figure out what the resultant is. So x is negative 54 squared. We don't even have to put the sign on that though, right? Because it doesn't, we're going to square it, it doesn't matter. Plus 1 squared, and then tangent of theta is equal to 1 over 54. And so let's solve those. VR should be about 54. And theta should be about very close to 0. So VR is 54. It's 54.00.01 essentially is what it is. And then theta, 1 divided by 54, inverse tangent of that, is 1 degree, 1.1 degrees. And let's put down that it's above negative x. So 1.1 degrees above x, which mine looks like it's below x. Okay? So don't ever trust the picture. So that's A. You guys have any questions on A, what we did?
I gotta remember to write in the signs. That's it though.
So on B, I'm going to draw B right over here to the side. And all that I'm going to do, since it's the same vectors, we'll just use this and I'm going to change the signs on it.
says not to.
Okay? Well, I'll redo it if you want me to. Okay? It says not to use your answers to it, but the answer is going to be exactly the same. There's going to be different signs. So here's what the picture is going to look like. Does it say A minus B? Is that what it says?
Yep.
So A minus B is going to look like this. A is this. 28 degrees and 44. minus b, instead of going up and to the left, is going to go down and to the right. So I'm kind of going to have to draw over. I should have made my vector a little bit longer. So this one's going to go, no, it goes down and to the right, like this. And then this angle is 56 degrees. And b is equal to 26.5. So it tells you to recalculate it, but I'm not gonna. If we go through and change our signs, so b is going to the right, so instead of being negative 15, it's going to be positive 15, but it's going down. So instead of being positive 22, it's going to be negative 22. A is going up to the right, so that means both the values are going to be positive. So let's add up our vectors again. They're going to change a little bit. And we're going to get 39 plus 15 is 54. 21 plus 22 is 43. So to find VR, it's 54 squared plus 40.
Is it a negative 22?
Yeah, it is negative 22. Sorry. Good catch.
My gosh.
So that's what, negative 1?
Correct.
Yep. Sorry, I can't even read my own handwriting. So this is negative 1. This is still going to give us a VR value close to 54, 54.01. In tangent of theta, this is going to be minus 1 over 54. What was it last time? 1 degree or something, 1.1? Still going to be 1.1 degrees, but it's going to be above, it's going to be this value here. 1.1 degrees above positive x.
Oh, 13 has lots of. Oh yeah, that looks like so much fun.
Okay?
Holy crap.
So any questions on, this is letter B, by the way. It says A, that's B. A, B. Any questions on, was that 12?
Yeah.
Then compare your results and see if they're opposite. So yes, they're the opposite. Okay? Are you guys good with that, everybody?
Yeah, so on when it says subtract, we still add the variables. They have different signs now.
Yeah, it's just going to turn it around and make it the mirror, or well, I don't want to see them. Is it the mirror image? It's going to make it the same length but pointing in the opposite direction.
Okay.
So all that the sign does is turn around and make you go a different way. Okay? So you're still adding them in a sense that you're combining the vectors end to end. All right? So let's do 13. Is that the next one? Let's do 13. So 13 says, for the vectors given in figure 332, determine A minus B plus C, and then A plus B minus C, and then C minus A minus B. Okay, so we got a bunch of them to do. Let's figure out let's just go through and figure out all the components, and then we can adjust the signs from there. So I'm going to put them in a table all the way. Maybe I should just do it like this. I'm going to get rid of all the signs. So I've got B, I've got A, and we need to find C. C we know is 0 in the X and 31 in the Y. So we know all of our components are either plus or minus 15. B is plus or minus 15 in the X, plus or minus 22 in the Y. A is plus or minus 39 in the X, plus or minus 21 in the Y. C is 0 in the X, plus or minus 31 in the Y, depending on whether it's a positive sign or a negative sign. So let's just use those as we go all the way through it. So letter A, hopefully I've got enough room over there. So I'm going to put A right here. A says A minus B plus C. So A minus B plus C. Looks like that. So that's the vector we're trying to find. Then on letter B, it's A plus B minus C. So A, which way does B go? Like this? Plus B, I'm not gonna have enough room. A plus B minus C is something like that. Kind of getting sloppy here, sorry. And then C is C minus A minus B. So C, let's see, A would go like this, so it's going to go like this. Minus A, what's minus B look like? Minus B. So the resultant is somewhere along there. So we've got all of our numbers, we just have to figure out whether they're positive or negative. And so I'm going to try to write it right down in here. So our x components in this one, let's see, A is 39, it's positive because it's going right. B is 15, it's going to the right, and C is 0. And our y components for this, A is what, 21, because it's going up. B is negative 22 because it's going down. And C is negative 31 because it's going down. So let's just add those up. 39 plus 15 is 54. 21, let's see, that would be minus 1. That's minus 32. Is that right? Is my math right there? So 54 in the x minus 32 in the y. And let's solve the Pythagorean theorem. So VR is equal to 54 squared plus negative 32 squared. Find the square root of that, and we get VR is 63. And then tangent of theta is equal to negative 32 over 54. Which is 30.7 degrees. And since y is negative, it's going to be